Let's do intros. Welcome to the Revmatch Podcast, the automotive podcast where we got a real, legitimate shop owner to slum it with us for an hour. So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
On today's show, we have Ed from EQT Tuning, Equilibrium Tuning, out of Fairfield, California. If you don't know him, you will by the end of the podcast. They do quite a bit. When I originally looked into you guys, you were mainly like V-dubs and Subarus, and now I know that you guys do considerably more than that, but I'll let you tell the story. First thing off the bat, though, we got to do the intro. What's everybody drinking? We're going to go counterclockwise from my screen, starting with Chris. Chris, what are you drinking?
We were just talking about this. I totally forgot the name of this tequila. What was it?
Casamigos, dude.
Casamigos tequila. Oh, so
Wow.
good. So good.
Apparently, sir.
This is going to be Chris in about 10 minutes.
Just
Mouthing it, fresh as the day he was made. It's going to be awesome. Timmy, what do you got, buddy?
Well, unfortunately, I just came back from training, and my brother have iced tea flavored White Claw. So I added his Cinnamon tequila and made a drink.
That sounds
And it's
horrible.
alright.
Is it good?
It's not bad?
It's not horrible. Like, it's worth drinking, but it's something that he already regrets buying, and that will never be purchased again. Iced tea lemon White Claws. Don't do it. No.
That
sounds like a bad idea.
It sounds like something that like a teenager puts together when they're raiding their parents' alcohol cabinet, and they think like this is what fancy people drink, right?
They're not gonna,
cocktails.
or they're not gonna miss that because that's just been in there forever, kind of
That's
shit.
a fucking
Yes.
really good point. How many of these pieces of shit do we have in here? Yeah, whatever.
Right? Yeah, whatever. I'm not
I won't
counting.
notice that.
Kyle, what you got, bud?
I got Plantain's bourbon whiskey.
Ooh,
Nice.
Not in a candle. Notably, not in a candle.
No, actually, check it out. Actually,
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Oh, that's dope.
That is
I
an
do like
aggressively American glass. All right, Mike, what are you drinking?
Kyle, come on. I got the standard white girl drink. A little Tito's, a little White Claw.
It's
always
If
fantastic.
it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then Ed,
Hell no, bro.
you said you're drinking wine. What are you drinking, man?
I'm drinking some white wine, man. Am I
Hell
the only one in
yeah.
California here? Or what's going on?
You got your pinky up?
Now I do.
Now I do. Actually, I'm the only one not in California, to be completely honest.
And
Yeah.
everybody, what's Alex drinking?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
This is
what's
special.
in
This
your
is
candle?
special. This is no. There's no candle this
Oh
night.
yeah.
Oh,
I have a styrofoam cup from Sonic Burger that
Oh,
is
hey, girl.
equal parts vodka and lemon slush, and I am having a great night. So
Yes.
That sounds so good.
Yes.
it ain't bad, homie.
Sounds awesome.
It ain't bad.
Dude,
It's better than what
their
Timmy's working with.
slushies-
I'll tell you
Their
that.
slushies
That's
are
true.
amazing, bro. I ain't gonna lie about
sure.
that.
All right. So enough of the shenanigans. Gotta get
Yeah.
loosen it up, get everybody loose. Ed, tell us a little bit about your shop, how it got started, and kind of what you guys specialize in.
All right. Long story, I guess. Trying to
Perfect.
make it somewhat short. I got started tuning back in college. I was a software engineer major, and I always liked to drive fast, so I started tuning cars, tuning my own car just to kind of make it fast.
Mm-hmm.
Started tuning friends' cars, and friends liked the work, and kind of got out, and I did that for part-time for a really long time through college, and for a little bit for a couple of years after. Then in 2008, I opened a full-blown shop in Fairfield.
Nice.
And we did mostly Subarus. It was pretty much 90% Subarus back then.
Mm-hmm.
STI, WRXs, that kind of stuff. Just because that's what I was driving at the time. And we worked on those for a very long time. And then more recently, we started working a lot more on Volkswagen Audi. because the Mark 7 Golf caught my eye. I actually had a GTI way back in high school, VR6. That was really fun, a Mark 3.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Chewbacca. Sick.
Yes. Yes.
Back in high school and college. It was a fun little car, but then I started going skiing a bunch, and driving a lowered Golf up to the snow was not very much fun.
Oh,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine why not. I can't. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
so I got a WRX back then, a bug eye, swapped to that, and that was great for many, many years, and that's kind of why I started in the Subaru stuff. But then the Mark 7 Golf came out, and it was the first real Volkswagen that caught my eye since my Mark 3. I picked that up and kind of started going full bore on it, and that's been just an exploder of business, honestly. We do more Volkswagen Audi now than anything else.
That's
Awesome.
Yeah, Kyle obviously doesn't ever shut up about his GTI. So, and for good reason. The car's sick. It's one of the cleanest in our fleet for sure. It is the fastest in our fleet, which hurts pretty much everybody's feelings. Because I would like to point out that Mike has a fucking R33 Skyline, so that's got to hurt a little bit. But whatever.
Hey, I kept the car until I maxed out on the throttle. Like I couldn't go any further on that.
Is this the part where Paul Walker walks into Racer's Edge and says, "My car topped out at 140 this morning. I'm gonna need the big ones.
Yeah,
Give me the bits."
nitrous.
The big ones,
Nitrous cans? Yeah, I need nitrous, bro. Let's do this.
And just the stuff that Kyle's been telling us about, like the kind of power that you can squeeze out of that engine. As a Subaru, I have an STI. Mike has an STI as well. I have a 19. Mike has a 15. Timmy has had a couple.
So you can't do that.
No, everything is 10 grand. Everything constantly.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, you want 500 wheel? That'll be $12,000. Yeah, it's like, dude.
Yeah.
And,
so I worked on Subarus for so long, and we actually used to build Subaru motors in house. I used to do it myself, and I liked the cars a lot. I had a lot of fun with them. I learned to tune on them. That's pretty much all I knew for a really long time. I started working a little bit more on like Evo motors. I'm like, these aren't nearly as sensitive as Subarus. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I started working on other cars, and then the Volkswagens. And I'm like, no, the Subaru motors are just a pain in the ass.
Can't confirm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Sound good and all-wheel drive.
So
is good
I
enough,
can
but-
contest to that.
yeah. That was like I had a 15 when I was this is how this whole thing. I was gonna send my 15 to you guys, and then I looked into like how much money it was gonna cost to like get. At the time, my goal was 400 wheel, right? So
STI or WRX?
STI.
Okay, yeah.
And
25. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so I'll put it to you like this way: I ended up going and buying a V8. I figured that was the less expensive option than doing what I did. And I cycled through a couple of cars after that. And then, when it's 2019 and it's like, oh, I want a 4-door all-wheel drive manual sedan because I have a kid. It's like literally have one option, right? Is another STI. But at least, you read through and it's like, all right, then, the newer ones, the post-type RA engines are a bit more stout. It's still expensive, but you're not having to build bottom ends to get to 400 plus wheel, all that kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
And I was like, okay, screw it, let's do it. And now back here I am, but it's still not. When you look at Kyle, what are you 465 the last time you dynoed it?
I think it was 460 something. I don't know.
And how deep were you in that car at that point?
Like tuning wise or just
Monetarily
everything?
speaking, just power wise.
Oh, power. I mean, I don't remember what it cost. I think it was $500 for Ed's dyno tune.
And then the turbo.
I think he's talking about the full mod list for that.
Yeah, the
right?
mod.
Yeah, but okay. I mean,
Yeah, so you're
what I have
talking
now-
about turbo, a little bit of light fuel mods and a tune, basically, and bolt-ons, intercooler, downpipe.
yeah, I had full bolt on. I think and then the XL Vortex XL.
So you were maybe 4Gs into it, maybe.
And I was going to say probably around $4 or $5 grand.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm 4 or 5
that's
grand
what
into mine. It makes 311 wheels. So just saying.
That's what
And that, I was going to say that's actually on the low end. What Kyle has is pretty mundane as far as what we do with those.
Dude, I
So
was
what are you
actually
seeing now? Yeah.
looking at this stuff. Like you have
So
like
those Those motors, we run 500 plus wheel horsepower on stock motors, stock trannies all the time on those things.
Dude, I love your website and how you have your stages of the golf, and you're actually like putting like stage 1, stage 2, and like what you're actually
I'll
doing.
put this up.
Yeah,
So.
I've never been a big fan of the stages, as most tuners, most shop owners, most enthusiasts say, screw the stages. But people like it, and it's easy to understand, and we kind of adopted that.
Yeah, I think it's more of a U.S. thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just people want like. If you're building a car for the street and like you're an enthusiast, but like you're not like a race car guy, right? Like a race car guy is, it's incremental changes and you're kind of always constantly adjusting something, right? You're always fixing this, you're messing with that, and you're taking it to the track and everything needs to be tuned consistently. And, this broke after so many rounds or whatever. But it's like, this is my street car, I want this much power. It's like, you pay me this much money, you get that much power, period. Right. And then it's just something, I mean, there's something to be said for that, for sure. I think,
Yeah. The nice thing with the Volkswagen stuff, it's the ECUs are very smart and the engines are very strong, like we were saying. So stage tunes, like stage 1 or a stage 2 tune, that's going to work on a fairly wide range of bolt-on mods and wide range of conditions and such. We can do those without actually having to do custom tuning, and that's a really big factor. Subarus, like every bolt-on Subaru goes and gets a custom tune out there, right?
Yep.
Because they're so finicky and so touchy that you really have to do that. With the Volkswagens, you really don't. Getting a custom tune on a stage 1, stage 2 car, you can do it, and some people do if they're like trying to break records or if they have some like odd fuel, somewhere in Canada they have some fuel that's like not quite as good as ours or a little bit better than ours, and they want to take advantage of it. We'll do a custom tune, but generally they don't need to. We do tons of custom tuning for big turbo setups. Right. Once you upgrade the turbos, definitely recommend that. But those low stage cars, it's really nice. People can just buy our stage tune and select whatever mods they like that kind of fit into those stages, flash them, and they're just enjoying their cars.
That's so sick. Yeah, because for me, like,
Awesome.
well, because like, so my car is like a stage 2.5, stage 3 in Soupy Bro talk, right? So it's like it's fuel pump, intake, downpipe, full, turbo back exhaust, and a boost controller, right?
Like an intercooler to be considered stage.
Fair enough, right? But I'm like, so you know how this goes. Now I'm at max duty cycle on my injectors, right? So I'm fuel limited at this point, right? So now that's $1,000 you got to spend, whatever. But I had it tuned by M45 by Snail, right? And he's like, I'll send you a tune to limp it over here. He's like, but like keep it at a boost as best as you can. Even though he's tuned a million cars to that same kind of level, he's like, I really want to get all of them in front of me just to make sure how, and they're all different. You could like take 5 of those things, put the same mods on them in the same temperature, the same humidity, and they'd make 5 different power levels on the same dyno, Yeah. And so yeah, this is all just
from a killer's point of view is different every time. It's really strange that you have to do that with those cars, honestly. Again, the more I work on other makes and models, the more I find that that's really not a thing for most of them.
No, it's there's a lot of Subaru things that are like specifically but it's like that's kind of their thing, right? They're like still the quirky car they kind of always been. They make weird noises. Their headers are technically inefficient, designed stupid, right? But they're all-wheel drive and that kind of stuff. So that's why I've always loved them, right? But I'm just listening to Kyle talk about his car. I'm eyeballing the shit out of that new Golf R. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's definitely happening. So I'm actually in the process of putting my Mark 7 back to stock so I can sell it and get a Mark 8 when it's coming out.
Oh shit,
man!
Once Kyle told me drift mode, I was sold. That was it.
that rear diff, right? It's very much akin to the Focus RS.
Yeah.
Really? I'm very hopeful that Volkswagen did it better.
Yeah.
Right.
The RS is great. It's really fun, but it lasts I drove a bone stock one at Thunder Hill, and it lasted me about 3 laps before the rear diff decided it was overheating, and it turned in front-wheel drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a bone stock car. It wasn't mine, so I wasn't like thrashing it that hard, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Uh,
what's crazy about that stuff? Like certain cars, like you take out stock. Like I've been out into Porsche training, and like you take like these like sports cars that are labeled as sports cars, and you take them
Mhm.
out around a track, and like they're stock, and you beat on them, and they don't last at all. That's I
Yeah.
didn't know that about the RS.
The RS absolutely does that, and it wasn't a very hot track day. It was a bone stock car, stock tires, stock everything. It was really fun 3 laps, and that third lap I did get a little extra aggressive with it and having fun a little sliding it around.
It's a hot lap,
but
man. You know, come on.
right after that, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming off turn 10, I think. The RDU lit up, and it's like front wheel drive only. All right, well, fuck.
Fun time.
And now you just gotta focus.
That's a lot of money to spend on a car
Those
that
things
lasts
are-
3 laps.
Those things
Yeah.
are not cheap. And like that.
You know what? Another one that's surprised that does similar stuff is the Civic Type R.
I have heard that. I have heard
Yeah,
that.
not
Yeah.
the
They
drag thing, but
overheat
they
and
just
stuff.
overheat.
Yeah.
They overheat.
I mean, so does the Z06.
Great
the
track
C7,
car. Again,
Z06.
they handle amazingly. They pull out of a corner like crazy for a front-wheel drive car, especially. But they
Yeah.
overheat after a couple laps.
No, what do you think
Dude,
that is? Like, and you've worked on a lot of stuff. So, like kind of to Mike's point, it's odd that you buy a sports car, right? It's like, do they know that 90% of people don't ever track these cars? Because they don't. Like, let's just be honest here. 90% of people that buy
Yeah.
STIs or Porsche 911s or whatever, they never see a track, right? They're like, I want
Dude.
something quick to drive around town and like kind of fuck around when I feel like it, and then that's it, right? Do you think that like they sacrifice that track reliability for like, better dynamics, better NVH, or that just put that money somewhere else?
I think they're sacrificing it for their peak numbers more than anything else. So they're sacrificing it to say, hey, we make 350 horsepower. And, it does that, but it can't do that for a track session.
Got you.
You
Actually,
know,
that makes a
and
lot of sense.
that's a sales figure. So it's a sales issue at that point. Right?
Yeah, horsepower sells cars, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess, yeah, I guess that's true too. 'Cause it's
What was it? The Z06 was having major issues, right?
Yeah,
they were
that's-
having major issues on track. The ZR1 was overheating like crazy. These are really high dollar cars we're talking.
I remember that we were at Porsche training, and they had a Corvette there, and we broke it the second lap.
You told me
And-
that.
And it was an automatic, and they played Porsche.
that 10
played
speed
down
is
called
garbage
Chevy.
for the record.
No. I don't know if it was a 10 speed. I don't know if it was.
Oh,
a
it
10,
may have
this
been the
was
8
years
speed
ago.
then, yeah. Yeah, the 8 speed is more garbage than the 10 speed.
Yeah.
All manufacturers, they rent cars, right? So Porsche played dumb, called Chevy, and was like, hey, we have the Z06. It's doing this. It's overheating. It's an automatic. And they're like, wait, stop. You said it's an automatic? Yeah. That's a Silverado transmission. So if you're going to track that car, you should get a manual gearbox. Have a nice day, and hung up
Click,
the phone.
that's it. You bought
Like-
the car.
Yeah.
You just spent $70,000+ on this fucking car.
No,
You
Z06
went
is
two
like
laps.
6 figures, dude.
Yeah,
The
like
old-
yeah,
yeah.
like
The
like
C7s, yeah.
you spent that kind of money on. Well, and again, this was 2017, I think.
Yeah, so it's a C7.
So I mean, like, to think about Chevy put a fucking truck transmission in a performance-based car, like, goes to speak to like. They're more worried about that bitch going 100,000 miles than it is going
Well,
5 laps in a track.
let's think about Porsche. Let's think about Corvette demographic. To this day, every Corvette is designed so that a golf bag fits in the trunk. Right? It's got Nike Air Monarch holsters in the back seat, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is. You might as well line that bitch with jean shorts. That's what it's for, right?
100%.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see 90%. You'll see 90% of Corvettes in the slow lane. Like, that's where they live, right? It doesn't matter how fast they are. They'll put an exhaust on them. Maybe they'll put some wheels on them, and they'll cruise at 55, listen to Sammy Hagar all day. That's just what they do. You know what I mean? So it doesn't and then because they know the hardcore dudes will buy the manual, right? Like the hardcore dudes that want to beat it.
They'll seek that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that this I know the C7 Z06 they had overheating issues because it's like a 1.7 liter blower on top of a 6.2 liter engine, right? Which is like people don't think about blower nerd stuff, but the smaller the blower, the more heat it generates. On a slim ass hood with no way to get out, that blower is causing so much heat that it's heat soaking the entire, and that ended up being what it was, right?
Yep,
So they
100%.
took it back to the factory. They put like another intercooler on it or something like that, like a front mounted one, and top as opposed to the integral one.
Or coolers, yeah.
Yeah,
With another
and-
heat
They added
exchanger.
another one.
yeah, exactly. But just to cool the intercooler down because the intercooler was heat soaking the engine bay.
But see, that's the kind of stuff that I don't understand how they get away with on something like a Z06
Exactly. I don't
or
know.
a ZR1 even. I mean, there's those cars you should expect to be able to take out on track and at least last a session.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's because
Easy.
Corvette enthusiasts aren't like Porsche enthusiasts, where like the Porsche enthusiast group, like, what's the word? They influence the way a Porsche is built so
Your
much.
advertises drive your
I hear
car.
you, but there are like Corvette Cups and stuff. I mean, they're pretty popular track cars.
I mean, it's a great
So they're
chassis,
out
to
there
be
quite
honest.
a bit. I mean, I spend a lot of time at the track. I instruct out there. They're out there, and they do well too. They're fast on track, and they're popular. So it's really surprising to me when a company like that comes out with a brand new high horsepower, high dollar model, and it can't last a session in normal weather. Like I get it if it's 105 degrees, whatever.
Right.
Right.
But on an 80-degree day, it should be able to do a session.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Kyle would like to
Kyle.
address the group.
Ed, you said you instruct on driving.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can I come out?
yeah, absolutely. Come out. I instruct for On Grid. Check them out. It's a great group. They do a bunch of track days out here in the Bay Area as well as in SoCal now, and they're actually expanding. They've been doing track days in Oregon and Washington too.
Come to Texas.
Really, really, really great group of guys. And I usually stick locally, but
Yeah.
if you come out to some of the track days, you can request me for an instructor.
Dude, that's
Awesome.
awesome.
That's awesome.
That's
I
cool.
think Kyle just asked you to adopt him. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Do you
He wipes his own ass. He wipes his own ass.
Do you-
So you got
He
that.
does.
So-
He trained me to do that.
But
And
that's
he
an
is
improvement.
housebroken. He's housebroken.
Ed, I know. Congratulations. I know you're having a baby boy.
Oh, congrats, dude. That's what's
Oh,
up, man.
hell yeah, bro.
Happy
Uh,
Father's Day or pre-Father's Day. Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day to all of you
Yeah.
gentlemen, by the way, as well.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind being adopted if you don't mind adopting.
Is that a dub? It's moderately
He doesn't have
educated.
to live with you. He's already got his own house.
Yeah, I can live by myself. Also, I have a really good idea of the Vortex.
Oh,
Ooh,
X-
that's
X-
bad.
That actually is pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
Like
can I
it.
buy that off?
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
That's super sick. So like,
So I wanted to ask. Oh, sorry.
No, go. Please go ahead.
So when Mike was talking about the website, I looked up the website and I see there's the RS3 on here, and you
Oh,
have
here
all the
we go.
4-liter turbo. I just want to know, do you have a tune for the 3-liter turbo from Audi that's in the
No,
S4?
no. You mean the supercharged 3-liter?
No, the new turbo 3-liter that's been out since like 18. Or
do
since
not.
17, really.
Not something I worked on at all. No, unfortunately.
All right, I guess mine will be the guinea pig then.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
make your day.
What's it in?
Right,
S4
drop it
or
off.
S5 or something?
It's a S4 2019.
S4, yeah. Okay. I haven't played with those at all. I kind of jumped from the 2-liter all the way to the 4-liter.
4-liter is
boy.
pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm just playing with the RS3 a little bit as well recently.
I mean, that's like the car, right? Like that's like.
We'd all like to play.
Oh, so to be totally honest, it's not my favorite car.
Really? Okay. I want to hear
Yeah.
this because that's like YouTube's favorite fucking car right now. So
Oh,
I know. I'm probably gonna catch a lot of flack for this,
Oh,
but
this
I
is
gotta be
great
honest.
for our viewership. Don't worry about it. Light it up, Danny. Let's do it.
All right, hold on.
It's got a badass drivetrain.
hmm
It's the motor and the tranny are strong. Obviously, it can make a ton of power. Obviously, it can be really fast. The car itself doesn't do it for me personally, man.
Okay. Is it
Um,
just the size?
it
I can see
actually-
that though. I can see that.
I prefer my Golf. It's the RS3 feels a lot smaller inside.
Mhm.
It's a lot tighter. I don't think I would fit in it with a helmet. I'm about 6'2".
Okay.
No, you would not. No.
Yeah, like I fit in it okay without one, but with a helmet, I'd probably be touching the roof liner. It feels really tight inside, but at the same time, it feels heavy to drive. Like it feels like a bigger car than it is, and than it should be. Whereas like the Golf, it's the same chassis. It's the same MQB chassis. There's tons of room interior. There's tons of interior space. There's tons of utility space because it's a hatch. Even just in the compartment, it's just roomier. But it also drives lighter and smaller at the same time.
Now, do you think that's by virtue of having? Is that engine mounted on the front axle, in front of, or behind? Because I know Audi has a history of kind of mounting forward of front axle.
They're all in front. It's like a front-wheel drive, layout.
Okay, so I mean, do you think that's by virtue of having a 5-liter turbo? I mean, I'm sorry, a 5-cylinder turbo, like sitting over that front axle, kind of makes it feel heavy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of extra weight there, but the whole car is significantly heavier. It's about what I think those are 3,600 or so,
Holy
and the
Jesus.
Golf's about 33. Yeah, so it's about 300 pounds heavier.
I had no idea
so-
that thing was that heavy.
Exactly, and it's pretty tight, compact
Very
car.
small car. I mean, it's nice inside. Like, obviously the stitching on the seats is sick. It's an Audi. It's a nice car, right? Like, there's
Also,
Right.
even the driver's seat is manual. I'm sorry, man, but
Yep.
what?
Yep.
For like
Yeah.
70
It is.
Gs?
It is.
yeah, like the Golf, even my Golf R has a power driver's seat. It's a semi-power passenger, but the both seats on the RS3 are manual, full manual.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
I don't know about this, but I think they're like 60 grand new or something like that.
60
No,
mid-60s.
we got a new one that I almost did numbers for. Oh, I got numbers for.
You did. You did.
And the MSRP was 67 grand. It has every single option. So with every
Okay,
option
yes,
you
that's
get,
option
it's
down, yeah.
67.
But even
But
then,
I mean,
it's like,
we drove it, and I mean, it has to be tuned to like really get entertainment.
oh yeah,
Me and Johnny went out and we did launch control, and like in my car and in Mike's car, like in all your manual cars, when you do launch control or you do a launch, I mean, you fucking take off. Like you built the boost and you take off. And in the RS3, we did launch control 3 times, and each time it like totally revved up and like had a bunch of backfire and it sounded awesome. And then you take off and it's like, bruh, and then like takes off. Like
That's a
doesn't-
little bit weird. It definitely needs a tune.
yeah.
To have going on. The training in that car also from the factory and by its nature, it feels a little slippy. It feels a little bit too slush boxy.
okay.
Whereas the old 6-speeds, they're much more, they're a little more crisp. They can actually, you feel the shifts, they kick a little bit more. But that's all. A lot of that is in software. I don't know. Again, the car is nice and it's fast. But it feels a little bit boaty even on the stock suspension driving around, and it just doesn't make sense for a car with the size that it is.
So
Yeah.
like hearing you say all this stuff, right? Because it's like we've had Mike and I are like the Japanese car nerds, right? Like, and Timmy to some degree, although he drives an Audi now, so he's like converted. Chris is America.
I want an
Whether he
S2000.
likes it or not, he like begrudgingly is the America kid, right? Which I mean, V8s are sick. I'm not gonna lie, right? And then Kyle's our resident kraut. That's just kind of how it's been. And but we've all kind of talked about like you hear all the stories of like, oh, you throw a couple grand at an RS3, it's a 9-second car, and blah 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 blah, and all this shit, right? And it's really hard to kind of deny that kind of formidability, even at the price point, right? Because you can get a used one for like mid 50s, which is a lot more palatable than 67. But just hearing you talk, I'm like I appreciate driving dynamics, which is why I own a slow car that corners well versus a fast car like these guys have, right?
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
But but again, the Subaru is not without its flaws, many expensive flaws, and so when I'm thinking like, okay, it's 65 for an RS3, and I'm 6 foot, and I have a 7-year-old kid, and my wife's 5'8", and it's like that's probably not viable. Or if I go spend 47, 48 on like a new Golf R, and I can have it exactly how I want it for less than what I would pay for like a brand new RS3. Right?
Yeah,
And
as
that's
long as you're not about that straight line life, I would definitely go for the Golf R.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be quick, you know what I mean? But it's like if you can put 500 horsepower through a stock engine on a Golf R. That's quick enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
I
not.
mean, quick, joke. And as long, if you're happy running like mid tens on the stock motor stuff
It's
training,
totally
then
fine with me, dude. Yeah.
Golf R is not a problem.
I'm not a straight line kid like at heart. Like
All
I think
day
it's
long.
cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. I have a lot of like there's when something goes just like fast as fuck through a quarter, you can't be like, yo, that's sick. You know what I mean? Like there's no
Right.
yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time
I
it's
mean,
like
I'm personally, like I said, I prefer the track. I grew up driving back roads.
same,
It
yeah.
took me a long time to get into track just because really all we did when we were teenagers, we'd go out and drive the back roads back in well, you guys are from California,
Yeah.
Marin probably,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
roads
yeah.
between 101 and Highway 1 out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. So I grew up running like Azusa Canyon, GMR, San Gabriel Canyon, like all those kind of back roads, the real sketchy shit up in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? So, and like really slow stuff, like 240s and stuff like that. But it was fun. You know what I mean? You get a lot of connection with the car. It's really engaging. You feel like you're gonna die, which is always fun. You know what I mean? So like,
But I
and-
mean,
So now, I grew up and I drive the track more just because I can't afford to do the stupid shit anymore. As much.
from what you're talking about, Ed, I mean, literally, that's how kind of like all this started. We
Drove
started
back
a
roads.
Instagram of it was COVID. Everyone wanted to get out, drive your cars.
Mike, put
So
your
we
mic
started-
closer to your mouth because you're getting quiet.
So we
There you go.
created a thing on Instagram called Weekend Drives, and that's what it was about. Let's just go out, go have some fun. Let's go beat on our cars, have a good time, and like that's what we're about, right? I mean, most of us, other than Kyle, who fucking runs
But
drag,
Kyle will still run
Well,
in the canyon
no.
in his dumbass car. Like to be
drag
fair.
slicks on us.
That was so
Yes.
funny. That shit. This
No.
motherfucker went through the canyon on drag slicks in the rain. It was
Yes,
the
he did.
funniest goddamn-
Yes, he did.
Hey, the GTI can hold its own in the canyon for sure,
It
man.
does.
Not on
It
drag
does.
slicks
That
in the
car's
rain. It can't. Let me
impressive.
say.
But like that's how all this started. Like the whole podcast, all that stuff was really just about going out and like back roading, driving our cars. Let's go have some fun with the boys and like enjoy what we have, right? Like that's cool.
I honestly really missed all the back road driving. I've been doing nothing but track for so long, and actually recently, just this weekend for Father's Day in the morning, I was supposed to go out to the track, but to Thunder Hill it was going to be 108 degrees. I'm like, what, fuck that. I'm not going.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
That's asphalt.
So
No way.
instead, I woke up and grabbed a couple buddies that live locally, and we went out on a drive through Barry SF here. And it was the first time I've done like a really, I didn't drive 10/10s like I do on the track, but like a good 6, 7, maybe 8, a couple tenths, a couple times. For a few hours in the back roads, I don't think I've done that in close to 10 years.
That's
And
some
it was a
butt
fucking
pucker
blast,
shit. That's
man.
some butt pucker
I
shit
missed
for
it.
sure.
It's the best.
It's
It's the best.
Yeah.
I remember starting on track and being bored by the track because it's not as much fun as the back roads.
No.
Right.
It doesn't keep you on your toes as much.
No.
It's
Hell
it's
no.
repetitive. There are many fewer variables out there.
Well, and
Right.
you know what corner's coming, right, on a track. There's only so many corners on a track that you're going to take where you may know the back road. Like, I know Highway 193 like the back of my fucking hand from Lincoln to Auburn. Like, I've ridden that motorcycle, driven a Subaru, driven in the GTR. Like, I know that road. Like,
Mhm.
it's something different when you're coming through elevation and going in and out on a back road versus the track purpose where, like, okay, you're coming into turn 3, then you're gonna chicane to this, and then you're gonna come out of the S turn to number 4. Like you know what I mean? Like everybody knows the track. Like you said, there's so many different variables when you're on a back road.
Yeah, I mean, coming around a blind corner and making sure you're safe regardless of what happens on the end of that blind corner is very different than
Yeah.
going around the corner on the track and knowing exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. There's no traffic coming their way. There's nothing in the road.
And
There's
no deer, there are no
Right.
fire
Yeah.
fighters.
Yeah, you guys remember that?
Oh,
Remember the
right.
Mustang that one run? You remember the Mustang that tried to split lanes in the middle of the day, and we all like 3 of us almost hit that piece of shit. Yeah, that was
yes.
yeah, that was super
Yes.
tight. No, I was. So I've wanted to get on track mainly because I think and correct me if I'm wrong, as you have way more experience. I think the virtue of the track is familiarity with the chassis and learning what it does in certain situations and pushing it in a more controlled and pseudo quote unquote controlled environment with a different risk factor, right? Like, can you go off track and potentially roll if you get in a gravel trap? Absolutely. But are you going to roll down the side of a fucking mountain? Like, nah. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hi, Lauren.
That's exactly it. I mean, you can, on the track, especially if you know the track and you know the spots where you can safely push it, you can push your car beyond that 10 tenths, even 11 tenths point. And, if you're smart about it, you fuck up, you're still going to be most of the time on track.
right.
And just
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
All within reason, of course, right? And
Right.
plenty of people do run out of talent and run out of luck on track and hit walls and roll over and stuff. That happens quite a bit too.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about it, and you have to know where you can play and where you have to be safe.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is just, and I've told this story to these guys before, like I had a pretty bad crash in a canyon when I was younger. And to the point where I was within 3 feet of flying off the side of a mountain at 45 miles an hour, straight over the side.
Yep.
And that puts a lot of shit in perspective. You know what I mean? And so I've just always been a bit more cautious and a bit more of a like build up to it type dude than just fucking go for it and see what happens ever since. Right. And that happened to me when I was like 25. So, but now I have a 7-year-old and just like, your priorities change. You know what I'm saying? Like you just,
Exactly.
Perspective on shit changes. So for me, the track, I've been really wanting to get on track because it's like, I know the car has more in it than what I'm giving it, but I'm not willing to like learn that on the street. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather take it to a more controlled environment where I can get used to the course and be like, let's do this at 40 and then do it at 45 and then do it at 50 and do it at 60. And let's just see how incrementally, how much faster can this thing get really comfortable with how the chassis goes and then take that back and translate it to like, if there is a windy back road in Texas somewhere in where God gave up on corner drivers.
Dude, right?
Apparently, if I drive 3.5 hours north into the hill country, there's like a road there, so that's fun. But but there are.
Yeah, no, I think you have it right on. That's the perfect attitude to take. You can really learn your car, push it safely beyond the limits there, and then you can take that back to the back roads and hopefully not push it as hard. But if you get caught off guard with something, then it's easier to handle it.
Yeah, you have that oh shit experience, right? That oh shit experience is super fucking crucial in situations like that. Like,
Yeah, dude, like, I've totally thought about that stuff, like being able to go out on like whether it's a track or whether it's just like a skid pad, right, where you could go out and like try to drive in a certain situation and like everybody talks about how you can correct something in a moment, but until you're in that moment and experience it, like you're never really going to, I feel as though, understand that, right? Oh, your car's doing this and it's going sideways and you're braking and doing this. What are you supposed to do?
dude, everybody's Von Gaten Jr. till the ass comes out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly, right? Like,
if you think about it at that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
That's
right.
why it's all muscle memory if you're doing it right. So you need to teach your body out at the track to remember what to do when you're actually back there.
Correct.
I think a lot of like I'm still trying to build a drift car because I used to do that shit when I was a kid and it's fun and it's a bit safer in a lot of situations because you're not going very fast, right? Grassroots drifts events, you're doing like maybe 35 miles an hour. People think you're like hauling ass. You're not fucking hauling ass. Nobody's hauling ass, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care if you have 600 horsepower. You're still you're doing 45 now. Cool. It's all wheel speed, right?
It's moving sideways with smoke behind you.
It's just your cloud gets bigger. The car doesn't necessarily get faster in a grassroots kind of hangout drift event thing, right? It's not Formula D where it's drag racing sideways. It's like a completely different thing.
That's
but it,
fucking great.
I love it to death, but it's ignorant as shit. Like, let's just call it.
I'm just so happy you called it that. Like, I've never heard it be called that.
Dude, go to a drift event and be like, dude, when they fucking initiate at like 95 miles an hour.
Oh,
it's like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like, that's really the feeling. But like that kind of shit.
This time, here we go.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is like, dude, you should ride along in somebody else's drift car if you can, because the feeling of throwing the car sideways, if you don't kind of like know what that feels like, and then you go to do it, you feel like you're gonna die the second you do it, because it's just like that much like sideways. There's a technical term for this, and I'm sure Ed knows it, but that like the lateral. There it is. The lateral force.
G's.
Yeah, it's a very even if you've driven fast through corners, that's a foreign amount of lateral force, right? Because it's just like We're gonna take that point where the car feels good, and we're gonna say fuck it. We're just gonna keep going, you know. And like, I think that experience gives people that muscle memory, like you're talking about. Like, oh, I'm comfortable with this. I know what this feels like, right? And
it does help a lot, actually. When I was a lot younger and in the early Subaru days, I was doing rallycross, which is kind of a similar idea there. You know, it's, you're going pretty damn slow. You're talking about. I almost never get into third gear. You know, it's first, second gear kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's all on dirt, so you're sideways the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a blast, right? It's really fun, and it was like you're saying, very grassroots kind of atmosphere, and everybody just kind of having a good time.
I think people underestimate how much fun it can be to drive slow in certain situations. Like,
sure, it is more fun to drive faster, though.
For sure. Well, let me ask you a question: slow car fast or fast car fast?
What does that mean?
So, like, would you rather drive a 300 horsepower car ragged as fuck because you can just, or even less, like a Ford Fiesta ST, which is like 12 horsepower, but you can mash it all the time, everywhere, constantly, right? Because you can't hurt yourself. Or would you hop into something that's 700 horsepower where you have to be in a specific situation to really stretch its legs?
Well, I'd rather be in the 700 horsepower car mashing shit.
Yes.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
No, I mean, look, man. It depends. It depends on the situation. I mean, right. Like on a back road drive, I don't want the 700 horsepower car. You're right, because it's not as fun to drive. One of the most fun cars I had to drive on the back roads was my old Bug-Eye that was like a bolt-on, stage 2 kind of car, stock turbo.
Yeah.
It was so fun because it was really well balanced to where I could mash it around every corner. Mm-hmm. Literally pitch that car, go full throttle, and then just wait and go for it.
Let the car figure itself out.
Yeah, I mean that's how Subarus do it. That's how all drive does it. You get on the power way before that apex and figure everything out. And that car, like, just because of how it was balanced, that could be a lot faster than much more high powered cars. Going to something like the track, like the actual racetrack, I do personally like having high horsepower car there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's because I'm spoiled and I have enough experience there to where more power is more fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, I don't think anybody here would argue in that situation. Like in a controlled environment, quote unquote. It's like, dude, give me fucking whatever you got. You know what I mean? Like, give me what's the most ignorant thing you have? Let me have that, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily build your skill as a driver because it's a much different experience, and but at the end of the day, to drive a really high horsepower car really well does take extra skill. You can have like somebody who's a driver that's like say like a Miata driver that's really, really good, top of his league in a Miata that's never driven a high horsepower car. He's going to have a really hard time with a Z06 or a Supra or something like that on track for a while, because it's a very different experience. He's not used to braking really hard into corners. He's not used to hitting 150 in the straight. It's
True.
Everything's just coming at you quicker.
He's working so hard to get speed in that car, but yet he carries all that speed in a corner versus where a Z06 is going to have to really actually brake, downshift, get through a corner, and not really just mash, kind of like Alex said, mash all the way through a corner, right?
Exactly. Well, you have to find your entry speeds, because like in a Miata, your entry speed is just defined by your power level essentially, right?
True.
For the most part, but in a high horsepower car, you have to brake and hope that your entry speed's right.
Yeah. So what's like, because now that you're doing a lot more stuff, you're doing a lot of Volkswagens, you're doing Audis and stuff like that. Like I know you weren't super impressed with the RS3. What's a car you were super impressed with, other than the Mark 7?
Other than the Mark 7?
Yeah.
Well, so in terms of just overall car track experience, or what?
If there was just one car you guys got in, you started doing some work on, you drove it a bunch, you're just like, oh shit, that's a lot nicer than I thought it would be. Like, what is there something that kind of stands out to you?
Well, I can tell you what my favorite car that I have currently is. I think is my 718, my Cayman. That thing has been exceeding all expectations so far.
How far? Okay, I want to know, how far have you tuned that car?
not. I mean, all it has is a downpipe and a tune on E30. That's it as far as
Is
power.
it the 2 liter or the 2.5 liter?
Turbo. Yeah. So it does about 440, 445 at the wheels, which is nothing super crazy, but the car weighs about 3,000, 3,100 pounds or so.
That's
And that's with it's got air conditioned seats and shit and all the niceties and amenities. And it's small and it's tight, but man, the thing feels like a little go-kart.
100%.
Super nice interior. It's actually comfortable to cruise in.
Yep.
Did you
And
just say you got
it's
400 wheel with a downpipe tune and fuel? Did I just hear that right?
Yeah.
440, yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm
Yeah, I'm not
fucking
surprised.
selling the
But
STI
I didn't
tomorrow.
hear.
Like,
Is
fuck
that
off.
out of the 2 liter or is that out of the 2.5?
2.5.
Okay.
4.5. Yeah. No, Porsche did the Boxster right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't fucking do that, Mike.
It's not
Don't
a
fucking
Subaru.
do. You fucking correct the man because he pronounced the stupidly
You
named
put your
car
finger
company
down.
wrong.
I don't care. I'm sorry. It's built into me. I'm fucking wearing the shirt. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Right.
You don't ever flip Dad off like that again.
Yeah, right. Go to your room. Go to your room.
I'm the pretty one.
Did
Shut
I
up.
say Boxster?
No. You said no. You said Porsche, and he said under his breath
Boxer motor.
he goes Porsche. He goes Porsche. Yeah. Show me
Dude,
where the
like,
fuck the UH is in that shit.
When I started there, that was the thing. Like you were told to correct customers, and like it was like built into me, and like you oh yeah, I happen to work in my Porsche. Oh yeah, let me help you with your Porsche real quick. Like that's just like that's what they taught you. Like in the States, like Porsche is a status symbol. It represents wealth, I guess, or prosperity. Prosperity.
I'm gonna go get a drink while Mike strokes off the Germans. Give me a second.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
But like in everywhere else in the world though, it's Porsche. Like it literally is. Like they look at. I don't say that, this is the bad way to say it, but in Germany they look at a Porsche as a like high-end Honda Accord. Like they're gonna drive the fucking shit out of that thing, whether it's fucking sunny outside, raining outside, hail, snow. They don't give a shit. They're gonna drive the shit out of it because it's got ski racks and all that bullshit on it, right? Like it's just how they are.
Absolutely.
But like I'm impressed. Like that's you really haven't done anything to that Cayman and to get that kind of like consistent power, but like at
I
the
don't know if
same
you guys
time.
can see it. I put the dyno chart into the chat.
Oh.
You can see everybody's video go, ooh.
Dude, that's
That's
dope
amazing.
though. And so
Oh,
literally that's a downpipe
That's a
increasing
downpipe and a tune on E30. E30 just because the stock fuel system is maxed out at that point.
Right, okay. I mean, and that's and like their fuel pumps are known to be like super weak in those cars. So like you could literally like throw a fuel pump at it and those injectors will do all kinds of fun things for days. Like
I mean, that's such a gain, though. Also,
Yeah.
like for what
Yeah,
you did, that's
like-
a huge gain.
Huge
Yeah.
game. Huge game.
It's a really impressive motor. It's been one of my top favorite 4-cylinder turbo motors to tune, along
Did
with the
you
Mark
custom
7 right there.
fabricate your own downpipe, or did you buy a downpipe?
No, I bought a downpipe. I don't
Okay.
actually remember the brand even. There are a handful of them out there. It's
That's
the
fucking
whole
wild.
platform is very kind of it's going under the radar. People aren't really noticing it too much yet. But I think it's gonna be a pretty fun car once the prices come down. They're gonna be in like second, third owners kind of thing.
Yeah.
they're
I think they're gonna start playing with them a little more.
yeah.
And it's a really stout motor. So I've been running it like this at this power for about a year now, doing tons of track days. I do track days in that car in 100+ degree weather, and it runs all session.
Hey, there's somebody interesting that I really hope is listening to this episode who may have said something besmirching about this very same vehicle about 6 months ago, and it may have ignited an Instagram DM war between Kyle and said person that we still reference to this day.
Correct.
Yes.
How many miles do you have on that Cayman?
It's at about 10K right now.
Okay.
So, and this will put it in perspective. I think maybe 4, maybe Ed. I don't know.
I used to work at Porsche, and we had a customer who had a 996 911 Turbo. That car was pushing 715 to the wheels before he broke anything. When he broke something, he broke the transmission. He didn't break the motor. So Porsche always overbuilds their turbo motors to the point that, like, I think you could get 500 horsepower out of that car and, like, rail the
I know.
hell out of it and be cool.
I'm definitely not worried about the actual motor itself. It's just the power is being limited by fuel currently.
Yeah.
I'm also honestly, have you guys ever seen a stock turbo 4-cylinder production 4-cylinder make 440 wheel horsepower?
No, that's
sick.
sick.
I have it.
No.
Reliably? No.
No.
Hell no.
I have it. No, I mean
No.
without upgrading the turbo, without doing anything to it.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. And then going and thrashing on it at the track. I'm not nice to it. There's a
Hell
website.
yes.
There's a picture
Hell
of it on our website in the air, mostly in the air.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
See,
a
the
badass
I want
photo,
to see
yeah.
if I can find it.
The one?
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yes.
Wheels up, baby.
That's over the bypass on Thunder Hill.
Alex,
Yes. What's up? That's your
that's my
color?
color.
That is your color.
That is your color.
Timmy will not shut the fuck up about the 718 before this episode. So now he's definitely not going to shut the fuck up about it
He's
after this
never gonna
episode.
shut the fuck up
I'm
about it now.
gonna
Like,
bring it back a little bit to the getting used to it on track and running on the back road thing.
Gotcha.
This Saturday when I was out on the back road, I hit a nice big bump and I caught really good air. And I was like, I felt way too comfortable doing that.
oh, I got it. We're good. We're good.
So
Did you
I actually
have,
it was really like civil and nice, but it was definitely 4 off the ground. Like it was all the way up.
what year Cayman is that?
It's 2018.
Do you
The
have Porsche torque vectoring or PDCC?
It has the Porsche Stability Management (PSM). Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, there's torque vectoring. That's another option, as well as Porsche chassis control.
Yeah.
It gives you like a
Was that
magnetic
option?
freaking stabilizer bar.
It did have that. I actually just put on some coilovers though. It did have the
scumbag, your nice shit.
The magnetic, right? Yeah. It was
Nice.
the lower, all that shit. It was actually really great suspension for a like street sport car. It was really comfortable and it was very compliant and did great on track. But for actually like setting really good lap times, the car was moved around too much. There was a little too much body roll. So I just threw on some coilovers and it improved it quite a bit. I took off about 2 seconds off my lap time at Sonoma when I was out there. Only like two weeks ago. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Do you
I
have a
I-
cage in that?
Oh my god, here we go.
No. This
Sorry,
is a
I'm
street
sorry.
car, dude.
Bro, the best photo on his website is literally where it says Porsche, and it's a little like
Porsche.
picture of fuck you, and it says Cayman, literally like off, like
Yeah, it's all.
is
I
it
showed
three
it.
wheels? Is that 3 wheels off that, or 2?
Yeah, it's 3 wheels off.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I had 4 wheels completely off at one point, and he just caught me landing, but
Yes.
I was just having fun off that.
I mean, fucking.
I was on stock suspension still, actually.
I love that you just let it eat. So here's a real question I have. Because I love MagRide. I think it's great because I drove so much stuff on cheap, shitty coilovers when I was a kid. Which admittedly handled great when you needed it to, and it was fucking miserable every other time, right? I'm talking like old Cusco Zeros with like no dampening adjustment. Take it to the canyons, fucking sick. Driving to 7-Eleven, please somebody kill me, right? But
Yeah, that's
at what point
Driving forward
is it
with
worth
stuff.
sacrificing MagRide? I know for a guy like you who tracks a lot and stuff like that, like it probably wasn't a very difficult decision when you're just like, I want to get a better lap time, right?
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised because like I actually really enjoy this car on the street and on the back roads and just kind of driving it around. It's just fun, even when you're not driving it fast, it's just really amusing and fun to drive. It puts a smile on your face.
Sick.
Part of that is because you're sitting on the freaking ground, and the car is like it's so small. It's more like you're like wearing the car instead of driving it.
Right.
It's just fun to drive. So I didn't really want to get rid of its ability to be a fun street car.
Mm-hmm.
And I do enjoy the mag ride because it's nice to be able to switch between soft and track, right?
Right.
But suspension has gotten pretty damn good these days. If you do invest in a decent set, I got some Olins on this thing. I got them used.
nice.
I
Oh
didn't
shit.
buy them new.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
Well, I
like
spent some
those.
money, but I'm also, I try to be smart about it.
Yeah, for sure.
The Olins are freaking magic, man. It's the spring rates are pretty damn stiff, and the thing is amazing on track. But you click them down to soft, and
Yeah,
the car rides super smooth and nice.
Yeah.
And I went through it on, I went through the back roads with it, and I thought it was going to be way too stiff for the back roads, but on the soft settings, it was not. It was really, really nice. Still compliant, still takes up the bumps. It's crazy what they do.
I can attest to suspension technology just getting better because I have coils on the STI, and it's not like I didn't do what Chris did. Chris has fucking KWs on his Camaro, which is like, we'll just leave it at he has KWs on a Camaro. Who the fuck does that? But anyway,
what's wrong with that? Yeah.
No, I just think it's just it's not necessarily the first thing you think of when you think of Camaro. That's all I'm saying.
Some Camaros are badass on track too.
Oh no, they are. I love those things. They're the best in my opinion. It's like a Z01 1LE is the best 70 grand you can spend on a track.
Are badass, man. They're impressive. Yeah.
But like even I have like a set of ISE, and they're fully adjustable dampers, right? And they do a good job. They're noisier than a nicer coilover for sure. You know what I mean? They have more inherent squeaks and fucking they're not as refined. But dude, compared to stock STI suspension on that chassis, I would argue it rides better and stays flatter. You know what I mean? So
Subaru suspension is notoriously, in my experience, has been kind of jarring to ride the factory stuff.
Yeah,
it's been very over dampened and undersprung is my kind of take on it.
Yes, I would wholeheartedly agree. So I can,
and it's worth spending all the money.
It is. I mean, the goal, I did it during COVID. I lost my job. I was still working on the car, but it was like, you got to your point, you got to kind of temper what you're going to do. And like the goal was the Öhlins dampers because on that V8 chassis, that's supposed to be like the shit. And everything I've ever seen is like, if you have the $2,700 to spend, like fucking do it. Just do it, right?
It's some kind of magic, man. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. I mean, we dabble with our own little suspension stuff. We have suspension for Subarus, we have suspension for Golfs, and we shoot for like not like the BC racing kind of price point, but somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And they're good for what they are, but there is something that they do in the high end stuff that just you cannot reproduce. It's really impressive how much control they have over a very stiff spring rate.
It's literally a you get what you pay for situation, right? Like that's
it really is.
And people wonder why like the Volvo R cars are so good. They all have fucking Öhlins dampers on them. That's why they're awesome and fucking slept on. In my opinion, those cars are all slept on. I think they're all rad. Give me a V70R any day of the week. I think that's...
Oh, hey, man, those are badass.
I like Volvo too. Yeah, dude. Volvo wagon? Dude. Yeah, all-wheel drive? Fucking sick, dude.
Hey, my wife drove an XC90 for a long time, and that 5-cylinder turbo was kind of fun, dude. Yeah.
Dude, that's a fucking...
Those are nice, yeah.
Volvos are
nice
super
cars.
underappreciated. They have really weird powertrains. So like now especially, they have like the twin charge hybrid fucking shit going on.
I'm not all about that, personally.
I'm not really into that either. But you roll about 5-10 years back, and like the V70Rs where you could still get them with a 5-speed, and it was a turbo 5-cylinder, right? At that point, like 300 horsepower all-wheel drive fucking wagon.
Yeah.
No, they're cool. It's super comfy, super nice interiors too. Like some of the most comfortable seats I've been in.
It's because they're all designed by a back surgeon or some shit, right? Isn't that how they do it?
I know.
That's fucking like, who thinks Swedes? That's the first people that think about shit like that. Why not have the back guy design the thing where you put your back? It makes so much sense. Why did anybody else think of it? It works.
Funny.
No, I love that. Yeah. See, this is how you know you got a real fucking car guy, because he drives Porsches and it's still like, nah, give me that old brick. Yeah, give me that old brick wagon shit with the fucking.
So the Cayman is my favorite car. My biggest surprise. Last year I bought a few cars. we had a really good year. COVID was good to us. 2 thumbs up.
You're welcome.
Waiting for the
Actually,
sequel,
yeah.
baby. Waiting for the sequel.
Yeah. So I bought a few cars because they're they help us on taxes and they're good investments for us. I can legitimately say I invest in cars, which is it's not a good investment
Literally
for
the
most
only
people.
dude
Don't do
anyway.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I got an RS7 2016, which is really fun. It's a silly car, it's a big boat, but it's super comfy. It's like driving around in your living room, but it runs tens.
Oh my god.
It has a massage seat, so it massages my ass while I can run tens.
Yes. Yes.
There was a
Love
Motor
it.
Trend article that I read, and this shit has stuck with me for years, right? And on the cover was like it was an M5 and it was like an S65 AMG and something else, right? And they used the phrase "shit fast cars for fucking rich dudes," and that line has stuck with me to this day because it's exactly what that.
Probably right, but it's nice because now they're starting to drop in price and they're getting a little older, and they're going to be shit fast cars for not so rich ass dudes.
Exactly.
Hell
That's where
yeah.
we come in.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's great for that, so that car is great. I got that. What else did I get?
Supra.
Supra I got. That was last year.
What?
Supra's been
that
fun. And then
He doesn't
I
seem
got.
so excited about that.
What?
You don't.
I know,
seem
he's
very
like-
excited
I know.
about
He's like,
Can we
wait,
just?
I bought an Audi. Oh, by the way, I bought a Supra.
Yeah, it's
And
like I
what's
bought a
going on?
4-year-old Audi. I also bought a brand new Supra,
Yeah.
and nobody
Yeah,
gives a fuck.
I got
Right?
the Supra. I
Did
had
you
a really
enjoy
good
your
time with when I
BMW?
got it. What's that?
Did you enjoy your BMW?
Rude.
Good, yeah. So that's the deal. I've had BMWs.
Facts.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the BMW, man. I don't understand that insult, quote unquote.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I would totally take
Your
one.
Toyota's a BMW. Okay.
BMW.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's just you have your fucking Super 2J hardos out there, right? And
I
it's
get
like, and it's,
I get it.
and that, and it's kind of to like what Mike was saying about Porsche engines and stuff like that is they're super over engineered, and like the 2J was pretty over engineered, right? And like so there's like a big cult following to stuff like that, but
It's a hard thing to follow.
it is a hard thing. It's like there's so much development cost for Toyota. It's like, oh, let's just make a straight six twin turbo. It's like, do you understand how fucking expensive that is to just like make that engine for a car that they're not going to put in anything else?
Especially modern day shit. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
I gotta say they picked a good one, right? I mean, it's the B58. The thing supports a shitload of power. The thing is built
Yes.
like a brick shit house. It's crazy. People are running 700 foot-pounds of torque on the stock block unopened, and they're holding it.
Jesus.
Didn't Econo
All day
Racing
long.
do like a 8
All day
second
long.
quarter mile?
Okay, but
with it?
Canoe
Oh, yeah,
Racing
they're
is a
running
fucking
eight now, I mean,
that's
whatever.
They're fucking in a whole
crazy.
different but it's like
But,
like the M340 X Drive, right? Like that's like, oh, you can get an all-wheel drive BMW with a fucking B58, and you can make a fuckload of power out of them when you're already buying a $70,000 car, relatively inexpensive money, right? And you have a fast ass all-wheel drive sedan that you really can't buy anywhere else, right? So it's like,
And I mean, for the Superman, it's a $50,000 car, which is it's not cheap, but it's also not like it's not a Porsche, right?
but
And it's for that, it's a pretty good. Sorry, Porsche.
thank you.
he's gonna fucking leave because you won't stop being a pedantic prick. Will you leave it
It's
alone?
irritating me. I'm sorry. I don't know what to fucking tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I bit my tongue so many fucking times in this
Go home,
podcast.
Mike.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I am home,
Let me have
asshole.
it. Let me have it. It's all good.
Hey, do you own one? Then why do you give a fuck how it's pronounced?
I'm sorry. I got a car. It's faster than one. I can tell you that.
I want to see you race the 718. I want to see that race all day long.
I want to see it.
On a highway? On a highway, I'd be down.
I mean,
It seemed as
but a
it does a
regular one, yeah.
real low 11-second quarter mile. It was like 11.1, I
that's
think.
a
when
good
I ran
race.
all the stop tires.
That'd be fun.
That's a good race. Tune
That'd be
718 versus stock
126,
R33.
127, something like that.
That's a quick car.
I got an intake,
I got the boost pill removed.
This is
I've
how you
got
know
a
he's driving a Japanese car when he opens with, "I got an intake."
4-inch
And
exhaust.
a boost pill removes it. That brings me back.
Brings me back.
And that's what I've been told.
I remember my
I-
first turbo.
hey, I don't give a fuck. I walked Timmy and I kept with Kyle, so y'all can fuck off.
You walked
Ed,
me to the
hold
grocery store.
on. Ed, I need to bust that GTR. By the way, we need to bust that thing.
What GTR?
Mike's got it. Mike's got an
Mike's
R33.
GTR.
He's got an R33 GTR.
Oh, R33. Wait, well, what's it make? What's it run?
That's what I was telling you. I don't. I literally. I don't know yet. I've had it for 6 months, and the mods that I've been told it has is, I smoked Timmy, and it was a second gear pull. I think I caught Timmy maybe top end, but even when he hit boost, I was gone.
Yeah.
Kyle
Oh, yeah.
and I did a freeway pull, and I kept with Kyle until literally the ECU, the stock ECU maxed out. Other than that, I kept with Kyle all the way. So I literally don't know. I don't know how to gauge it.
What gas are you on?
91, whatever we
Still
have
on
here.
pump. Yeah, okay, I figured. I was gonna say all you need is a little E30 action, and then it'd be 500 plus easy.
But I mean,
Do you want to?
but it's also okay. No.
Do
But
it.
The
it
adults
also
are
has
talking.
stock
Timmy.
turbos.
Do it.
I mean, as far as I know, and I haven't taken it apart yet, it has stock turbos, which on those cars can't handle more than a pound or 1 pound of boot. 1 pound, one bar of
Bar
boost.
boost.
Excuse
One
me,
bar.
1 bar, and the fuel system won't allow it to get to that, as far as I understand. And you can't tune the factory ECU, which I did confirm it has. So I just don't know.
Can
yet.
we, Ed? Can we bring it down to your place and get it dyno tuned or just dynoed?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. Just give us a call. I can get you on the schedule anytime.
I would love to see
Yeah.
what that thing makes stock. I would love to see where you're at.
I want to, before I do anything else to it, because we put the intake on it. I don't want to do anything else, and I want to get a base tune on like what it pulls, what it does, because I literally have no idea. I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm keeping
for
with
sure.
Kyle on a GTI who makes 460 wheel, and I walked Timmy who
You
makes
can't not do this. It's so great.
400 plus, like I don't know,
He's like,
I'm
I
gonna
was at
fucking-
like
I'm gonna-
70% throttle
hey,
for the record. But
I'm gonna float my AK Maxima, asshole,
That's
all
right.
day long,
It's a
all
really
day
expensive
long,
Maxima.
baby.
Not top
All
of
right,
the
all
line,
right.
baby.
So prepare for the bombshell, guys. My biggest surprise car of my purchases is my
Yes.
fucking F-150 EcoBoost.
Dude,
Yes.
oh my god.
Send it. I want to know all
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
shit. Send it. I'm
All
all
right,
about it.
that's I've seen all your faces, and that's how I felt. I've never been a truck guy ever. I laughed at the big trucks. I was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You know, it's ridiculous."
Nice
Never
dick, bro.
understood
Yeah.
I bought the F-150 in December, mainly to tune it because Cobb has an access port. I wanted to release maps for it. They have some power in them, quite a bit of power. And I was going to buy it, tune it, and sell it. And no fucking way. I'm not letting that thing go now. It's appreciated in value. I could make money off of it, but
That's
it's not
true.
going anywhere.
So
Yes.
Do you
So-
have your Ed? Do you have your dyno sheet? You
Of
can post in it.
of the
Of
so
the F-150.
so for
Or
so
dude.
is it what up? Is it a is it like a single cab short bed or is it like what style of
No,
truck?
it's the Super Crew. It's the full deal.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So it's like a legit
So
fucking
it's
truck.
like it's a favorite
Okay.
family car now. Whenever we go, like, well, you know, me, my wife, my daughter, my dog, that's always their choice of car. And
Yes.
I can't
it's
imagine
super,
why.
super comfortable inside. It has more interior space, and it's like roomier inside than our Touareg. That's what
Yeah.
my wife drives currently.
Yeah.
It's super comfy, really comfy seats, nice interior, nice like stereo, and all that stuff's great. I got a cover for it. I put my ski racks on it. I put my bike racks on it. It's just awesome, man. And
So much utility.
So cool.
it's also really fucking fast for what it is.
Okay, wait, I got a question. Since you're a Volkswagen guy and you do the whole GTI stuff, have you ever tuned a Tiguan?
I'm not. No, I don't have any software for those guys.
Mike's old lady drives a Tiguan and he wants to make it not so. So APR has a tune. APR has a tune
Honestly,
for
for that kind of stuff, I would recommend just finding like an APR dealer or something like that. And
Yeah.
I told you
Okay.
like 6 months ago.
I just was curious. I didn't know. I didn't know if you had someone like walk in because I've
There it
seen
is.
them. Like,
yeah. So
Like-
for the stuff that like
Does
you
this
know,
fucking shit say 480 wheel horsepower?
that's the F-150.
no fucking way.
Fuck you. What?
That's stage one, guys. That's all stock hardware. That's just tuned with fuel. That's
Holy
it.
crap.
Hey,
Can
Ed,
that
when
fuel
you- when
system
you're-
can
when you-
push that?
when
Wait,
your
wait,
turbos go out-
wait up. That stock fuel system, those Ford fuel systems, they can run ethanol, right?
Well,
Yeah.
not factory. I mean, it's not flex fuel currently. Nothing factory.
Okay, so you had to put like lines and injectors on it, or
Oh no, completely stock fuel system.
that's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying. Okay, yeah.
So what you're
Okay,
saying, yeah, it does
He
support,
got in there,
yeah,
made a couple of adjustments, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, you just hit it with the
that.
fucking beep boops, dog, and then it was like.
it technically supports up to about like E50 or so, but I didn't see any real gains over E35, so that's kind of where I kept it. Just to give it a little extra headroom on the fuel system and not run it lean, but
That's
that's
nuts.
all stock hardware. I've actually since added an intercooler. I haven't put it back on the dyno yet. And then downpipes and stuff. It's going to be well over 500 wheel, and they're supposed to hold about 700 foot-pounds of torque to the peak there.
So it's a little
Jesus.
difficult for me to
Grow.
put this
Okay.
in individual, and put it individual for everybody to read, and for the people who are only listening, I want to just kind of read this dyno sheet off because this is way fucking crazier than the 718 one. Full disclosure, okay?
Yes.
Stock 91 octane max power is 334 at 4950 and 409 foot-pounds of torque at also at 3450, right? On just the tune, still on pump gas, 402.6 at 5500 and 496 foot-pounds of torque at 3500 RPM, and he threw E35 in it, and this fucking bitch makes 480 horsepower and 584 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
No wonder he walks fucking
Amazing.
everything in the fucking truck. God damn
Is it a
it.
two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive?
It's four-wheel drive.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I
my
wish it was
God.
two-wheel drives. So you just do big, fat, ignorant
No,
burnouts.
no, it's
No.
four-wheel drive. Yeah, it's a real truck, so I can.
No,
I can't.
I mean, he's right. Listen, for real, the only
Facts.
the only trucks that should be two-wheel drives are pre-runners, full tow rigs, and fucking single cat short bed race
No,
trucks.
no.
That's it.
What I'm saying is it switches to two-wheel drive.
Oh, so you can do big,
Yeah.
fat, ignorant burnouts
Yeah,
with
yeah,
empty bed.
Yes.
It's not
Yes,
all-wheel
he
drive.
could.
Yeah.
Yes, he could.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the rear diff is not a locking diff, so it'll usually
It'll-
one leg
it'll
it,
one-
you
yeah.
know.
One tire fire.
If you lock it, it'll both of them loose and just go for it.
That's so
but-
funny, dude. So because this is it's the same drivetrain as a Raptor, right? Isn't it?
It is. It's the same
So-
drivetrain. It's slightly higher compression ratio because they don't run as much boost from the factory.
Okay,
That's why it does better with octane.
understood.
But it's the same drivetrain and it's a 10-speed auto, so the thing just just keeps it at the right power band the whole damn time.
So fucking stupid. Trucks are rad.
It's awesome.
And on E35, I still get about like 17 miles per gallon on it, and I'm not very nice to it.
Love
Because-
that.
Pretty damn good for an E-mix with in a big ass truck like that.
So, but like, how big of a pain? Because like, I'm ethanol ignorant. Like, I understand E85 equal mole power, and that's pretty much as far as my brain works. So, I understand that 35 is the mix, right? So it's 35% ethanol to 65% gas. How big of a bitch is that at the pump to like handle that?
Well-
Obviously, you're in a different situation, but
Yeah, no. So I actually, most of my cars that I mix E in, I don't actually have an ethanol gauge, which I never recommend to my customers. Don't
Okay.
do what I do.
Love it.
Dude,
Living on the fucking wild side.
He's do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
just like I always
exactly.
used to say. That's right.
Part of the reason that I do that though is because I do know I have customers that also do the same thing. And I want to make sure that my tunes are going to work, within 20%, 15-20% range. Where
okay.
if somebody screws it up or the ethanol content at the pump isn't perfect, which it never is.
Right.
But it's it's not going to blow up or it's not going to start cutting out or anything like that.
Okay.
But So I kind of the way I do it is I come up with a easy to remember ratio for that particular gas tank. Like the
Okay.
Cayman has like a 16-gallon gas tank, and so I go basically like a 25% ratio, 1 to 4. So I run 1 gallon of the 85 per quarter tank of gas.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot easier
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
pump.
yeah.
Then. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. See, so when somebody not stupid explains it, it makes a ton of sense. Weird. Okay. This is my idiot brain was like
there
that
are also
gif with the lady
calculators, there are
looking
a
in
bunch
the.
of apps, you know. There are a lot of apps you can download an app on your phone and it'll tell you exactly what your ratio should be or how many gallons of this to that to add, and that's great. But it's if you get a like kind of a easy to remember, like okay, it's a third E85 or a quarter E85, then that's pretty easy to kind of do in your head when you're at the pump.
Well, I see like pictures of my homies who run corn, and they're like have fucking graduated cylinders at the gas station, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's like, I don't
Right,
wanna-
right, exactly.
I
I
definitely
try and
do
figure
not
that
do
shit
that.
out.
Okay, perfect, great. So there is hope for dumbasses like me. Awesome.
Yes.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
why it's like cars like STIs were like, oh no, we have full flex fuel tunes, and it'll kind of automatically scale itself based on ethanol content and all that shit. I'm like, perfect, because I'm an idiot and I'll do something stupid. You know what I mean?
That is
Like,
definitely the holy grail. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's, it's every platform that I work on, I always push the tuning company to develop it. And like the Volkswagen stuff, I know everybody's been waiting on Cobb for that, but it is coming.
sick.
I hope so. I've been waiting.
Everybody's waiting and yawning and saying it's never going to happen. It's going to happen. Cobb takes their time doing things, but when they do release it, it's actually done properly and well. That's why they take their time.
I mean, they're
it's
a
hard
huge
for
name,
When
right?
you put a tune out on the internet that you will plug into your car, and at some point you're gonna guarantee it's not gonna blow that shit up. No wonder they take their tough fucking time. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Absolutely. Well, and beyond that, they're giving tuning software to hundreds and hundreds of different tuners,
Correct.
and trying to guarantee that it all works for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a hard task.
So we did a and this we'll kind of use this to wrap up the show because we've taken quite a bit of your time, and I'm sure you have more wine to drink with your
I
family.
was just going to say it's just about dinner time here.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. No.
Love
Dude,
it. Love
dude,
it.
it's like 10 o'clock where I'm at. Don't even sweat it. We're good to go. We did shoot a bunch of footage of Kyle installing his multi-port injection system and all that kinds of stuff, and I've been kind of waiting. We're gonna drop this episode next Thursday, just so you know as well. But to kind of wait for this interview per se to come because I knew it was coming and I thought it would be a good kind of add-on to this. For what Kyle did, right? Like, what are the benefits other than horsepower? What are there like negatives to what he's doing? Like I asked him the question the other day, like, like when would that second fuel system come on? Like, kind of how does that work? For any of the GTI guys,
The multi-port injection stuff in general?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, the Volkswagen Audi cars, they actually come with that system from the factory in Europe,
Mhm.
and that's what makes it really easy to add it on here because the ECU is all set up for it, and actually a lot of the hardware is already set up for it. So it's a relatively easy add-on to these cars as opposed to other cars that don't have it natively supported.
Mhm.
So you add the hardware that's kind of similar to the European hardware. You plug it into you run the pins into the ECU, and then with the tune side, the ECU already has that software built into it. So all the logic's there, which is really nice from the factory. Generally, with those systems, we phase those in with large injectors. I phase those in at increasing loads. So those injectors aren't running at idle and when you're driving normally. It's generally once you start getting the boost, I phase those in. The obvious benefits are fuel flow, so you can support higher ethanol content and more power.
Right.
You're also cleaning your valves and ports, which is a big one. Direct injected cars tend to have valve, buildup that happens over time. So usually by the time DI cars reach like 40, 50K miles, they usually have to have a warm-up blasting, like a good valve cleaning like that.
Okay.
With multi-port injection, as long as you're using it once in a while, it cleans the valves off really nicely. That's another side benefit of that. As far as drawbacks, there really are none aside from cost.
So even like nominal fuel efficiency. I mean, granted, the more you tune a car, the worse your fuel efficiency gets. That's just usually how
The
it
fuel
goes, right?
efficiency doesn't come into play because it's not actually on until you're in boost. So
Okay.
you're not judging fuel efficiency at full throttle, I'm assuming. So
Right, yeah, that's a good point. So yeah. Okay. And then I mean, is it from what I've heard, I wasn't there obviously because I was pretty far away, 1,700 miles or so. But he did it in a day. And granted, Kyle's a very experienced technician. He knows what the fuck he's doing, right? He knows his way around an engine. And I know that he researched doing this. He's been talking about this for over a year and a half, something like that, putting the second fuel system on the car. But from the footage I've watched while editing and stuff, like, it doesn't look like he really got lost anywhere. You know what I mean? And like how yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Since you think I did it.
Honestly, I did get lost. It's all tuning a car is pretty foreign, or adding modifications to a car is pretty foreign to me, or was really. And in fact, actually, I think the first time I got my car dyno tuned, I felt like Ed yelled at me like my dad would. He's like, why? What is your spark plug gap at? And I was like, shit, I didn't do that. I forgot it. And he yelled at me about it, but it was all good. He actually, everything worked out well, but
it sounds like I was having a grumpy day, maybe.
yeah, you probably were. And I
took that personally.
I kind of apologize, not really, but I was no, but adding modifications. So Ed, if you don't know, I've been a Land Rover tech for about 8-9 years now. But the OEM shit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be apologetic later.
I was gonna say I'm sorry, but yeah.
But I actually started that Volkswagen for a year, and then basically work got slow. I moved to Land Rover, and I've been there ever since. My heart and soul is with Volkswagen. I love. I like you. I went from basically a Mark III to a Mark VII. And then I was actually APR, and then went with the Vortex XL, and that's when I started tuning with you. Now I'm working with Nick, doing all my remote tuning. So all the added stuff is pretty foreign. Actually, at one point I felt like a dumbass because I assembled my rail and my harness on the bench because I was thinking flat rate and I was going to do everything faster, right? Because in my head, I do everything flat rate.
On the manifold on the bench.
Yeah.
Right.
So I bought the Euro manifold. I stuck the rail and the harness on there, and I stuck it on the car. I don't know if you noticed, but Billy from A2B was like, "Nah, bro, like something doesn't look right."
Like that.
Right. I legit had my harness backwards. Right. It's possible, people do it. I did it.
Do people do it or do person do it?
Hey man,
Personally,
I've seen a lot worse, guys.
Yeah. So to me, I think I got a little frustrated because I'm like, A2B promised, factory fit, and I was getting frustrated. But it was my own dumbass mistake that I had the ship, flip backwards. And then when I flipped it backwards, and I really love doing wiring diagnostics, and the D pin and the pin, I think was like, I don't know, 10 minutes. But installing the harness, and I was like looking at it, and I had to like take a picture and submit it on the forums. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? So So eventually, somebody was like, "You got it wrong, or you got something, messed up. It doesn't look right." So I unbolted it and then flipped it, and I was like, "Ah, fuck me, right?" It's
Right, 100%.
yeah. It was. I mean, I don't know. You were working on the GTR. It was hot. We were having a frustrating day.
Everybody was drunk. It's fine.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie about it.
Mistake, you're doing just fine.
Yeah.
I am not looking forward to putting turbos on that GTR. I am not looking forward to
I
that at
am.
all.
Honestly,
you can look forward to that. It took us like 2 hours to put the damn intake on that fucking GTR.
Holy fuck.
And then
do we really want to admit this? Do we want to admit this publicly?
I would admit that because
do we want to admit this in front of Ed when he's trying to eat dinner? Like, it's just really
don't care.
My intake
Don't
was
care.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
and then
Yours was 3 bolts.
It was all good.
Mine too.
all right.
Mine was 32.
Okay.
Okay, okay. On that note, let's let Ed go eat before we fucking.
Yeah.
This is the part where everybody's
true.
been drinking for an hour and a half, and it just turns into a bunch of fucking bullshit. So like, let's.
Yeah.
I'm out of wine again too. So
There you go.
Yo, he winded
Hold
up
on.
again. We get a
Hold
camera.
on.
No, he said he's out
We
of
get a
wine.
camera on. Oh, damn it.
I've got an easy yes or no question. Do you want to fuck with the 3-liter?
Oh my God.
What are you?
Be less
telling
thirsty.
Me that
Be
I
less
shouldn't
thirsty.
ask a tuner about if he wants to use my car.
it's not something that's really on my list currently.
That's the answer I wanted, Alec. Fuck.
He just called your kid ugly publicly. I was trying to save you the shame.
I mean, he did. He did.
There's nothing wrong with that motor. It looks like fun. It's just our bandwidth is kind of used up currently, so it's not something on the list.
For sure.
I mean, it's nothing I'm doing soon anyway, so I'm not tripping.
And
So Ed, just
Still wanna burn my
just
GTR.
shut the fuck up, Mike.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, guys.
So just to put it in perspective for GTR guy, on my full bolt-on XL on E85, when I do get it dyno tuned with you guys, you know roughly what I should be making?
XL full bolt on E85, as long as everything is good. Depends on how hard you want to push it, but it can do up to about 550 all out.
Full send.
Full send. We got
full send,
motors waiting.
550 to 560 wheel. We
got full send. We got full send.
We have to keep torque down at around 450 or so max for the stock block, but that's about it.
I have 2 extra blocks sitting in the garage right now.
We got blocks waiting, Ed. Send it. Send that bitch.
He also has a Tahoe, so he doesn't care. So.
Well, hey man, we can have some fun with it. We can spin those out to 7,500 too, bone stock, which is fun.
Holy shit!
I've never seen a smile so big in my life.
And on that fucking bombshell, Ed, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you. This has been a great time talking to you.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Seriously, thank you.
If you ever want to come back on, man, you always got a home with this band of shitheads. To everybody listening, go check out eqtuning.com. If you have a Volkswagen, you have a Porsche, you have an Audi. Do you guys still fuck with Subarus? Ford?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we still do a bunch of Subarus in shop, in house all the time.
Perfect.
I might actually, once in a while I get e-tune requests for them too, and if it's newer stuff, I'll do it.
For sure. Yeah, you got a new GR Supra, you got a GTR, R35, FT86s, even though we try to act like never mind, I'm not going to talk shit on those chassis right now. I'm going to be nice. I have a problem with them. They're fun when they're tuned and they're built up, but they're kind of shitty the rest of the time. IMO. That's just me. That's just me. But anyway, go check out EQ Tuning in Fairfield, California.
Yes.
They do great shit. They also have sick swag. Your guys' t-shirts are dope. I like those a lot. So
right?
Oh, I appreciate it. That's all Cliff, man. He does all of our swag. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of gave him I had him start his own business doing swag for us, and I was like, you can also do swag for other people. Just because we didn't have time to deal with that stuff. So
I need a sweatshirt. I mean, I need a
they're super clean.
Sure.
But yeah, seriously, if you're in if you're in NorCal, you're in SoCal, you have any one of those chassis, and I know you do some remote stuff. Obviously, hit them up and see if they can.
We actually do more remote stuff than local stuff these days.
Perfect.
Oh hell yeah!
So hit him
Hell
up.
yeah.
Obviously, if you've
Yeah.
listened to the last hour and a half, you know he knows what the fuck he's talking about. As
Hell
always,
yes.
this has been the Revmatch Podcast. My name's Alex, Chris, Timmy, Kyle, and Mike. No order of ascending importance. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.